Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Stone, the Honorary Doctor of Love. I was just interviewed on the Keith Andrew Network, and I was blown away. He never ceases to amaze me. This was part two. Went so nice, we did it twice. And from the very get-go, we had an amazing connection. He is truly able to get to the depth of the issues and really ask those insightful and delightful questions. I highly recommend him and his platform. Keep up the great work, Keith.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and this is Season 8, Episode 729. That's right, 729. I am here with the beautiful and talented Cynthia Stone. It's great to have you on the show once again. Thank you for being here. It's a real honor and privilege.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's such a pleasure to reconvene and reconnect. Woo!
No, absolutely. And I do have a couple questions for you off the air I'd love to talk to you about. And for people who want to see our very first episode, it's Season 1, episode, I think it was 61. It was originally Season 2, episode 249. Long story short, I had to do some reorganizing. So now from 249, you're back to 61. But hey, at least you're now 729, right?
Woo! Right on, holla!
Now, the next question I want to ask, how you been for, let's say, hypothetically, 5 years, 6 years?
Has it been that long? That's crazy. I have been amazing. Honestly, I know that when the world went into crisis, a lot of people retreated into their shells. But I came out of mine. I was just like, you know what? In Asian culture, the symbol for crisis also has opportunity within it. And I really jumped on that bandwagon and recognized, there's a lot of opportunity here, that things change, but we can change as well and grow with the flow. And so I started, doing a lot more in terms of being my own boss. That's right. Stepping away from wage slavery. Woohoo! That's right. And also writing a book, launching, oh my gosh, yeah, there's been a whirlwind of activity from becoming a speaker, a more prominent speaker, sharing the virtual stage with the likes of Jack Canfield, Les Brown, Grant Cardone. I mean, it's exciting stuff here, so I'm super excited for that. We had DDP. Yeah, I know we like the wrestling here, so it's all good, It's pretty amazing, the people that you're able to meet, like yourself, Keith. I mean, just a tremendous opportunity here. Very grateful for that. And what else can I say? I've been doing acting, continuing in that realm, and obviously it took on a different shift. Like, they're not filming quite as much now, and the protocols are different, but still able to get out there and do the work, really celebrate the gifts that I've been given and help other people celebrate their gifts.
No, absolutely. And it's a possibility. I would love to work with you.
Awesome.
Now, the other question I want to ask you is going back to the first time we talked, and you did bring this up. You are you or are you not still being a professional actress?
I am.
How's that been going? I know it's quarantine, all you have to do is your auditions online. Do you find it easier to do it online than in person?
You know what? I love online because I'm able to do my own retakes and be like, oh, I like that version the best, and it's really neat. And I've become an editor. I discovered new skills I didn't even know I had. But, there's something to be said for the live, to have that energy back and forth and to, get that feedback right off the get-go and be like, okay, I will do this way, and then they get to feel you and really, connect with you that way. So it's different. Both are good, but I'm looking forward to going back to the way things were as well.
No, absolutely. Like I said, once there's a vaccine, let me rephrase that. Sorry, I had a brain fire because I haven't said it to you, but I always say the same thing. Maybe I should have a tape recording. Once things go back to normal, like you said, once there's a vaccine, I'd probably go get my job back, save money, go to autograph sign-ins, get myself out there more. Until then, hey, I have all this time to do these great different episodes like with you. I get to promote, to do these great things, but at the same time, you miss that human contact. It's something about actually, if we shook hands, we can feel that energy. You can't actually shake hands through a computer screen, but it's different from online. But at the same time, at least you get to see who you're talking to.
True. Yeah, exactly. I do miss that, that physical connection, but definitely you're right. I mean, at least we're still connecting. It's just in a different format.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, how's Canada dealing with the quarantine?
Ooh, well, I mean, we were taking 3 steps forward, but now I feel like we might be taking some steps back, because I think that, because we've been so good at handling it and people have been, adhering to the protocols and following the guidelines, it's been good. We've been keeping our numbers down. But as things appear normal, I think that people get comfortable, but maybe artificially comfortable, thinking that things are more normal than they truly are. Things aren't always as they seem. So I think that, that is definitely playing into it, that, we're jumping the gun. Like, I understand. I mean, we all want to get back to the way things were. We miss life pre-COVID, but at the same time, we have to, really pay homage to our leaders and recognize that they're here to, serve us and try to keep us as healthy as possible. So, even though it might seem like, we're stalling and we're not moving as quickly as we would like, that there is method to the madness.
Well, Canada sounds like it's getting its shit together more than this country.
Yeah, I mean, without actually being privy, I just get the little blurps here and there, and I'm like, dang, that's like a whole other level, a whole other enchilada. I mean, yeah, it seems like, putting the alada in enchilada, that is. Yeah, it does seem to be quite a bit there. So I'm like, okay, but it's also like everything is more, there's like a lot of media companies that are focusing on things. And if they're US based, they're going to focus on the US. So maybe it's not quite as bad as we think. I don't know.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that there's hope for all of us. And maybe it is worse there. It probably is. I mean, but that doesn't mean that we can't take steps to address it. I was working with the humanitarian response on the front line, and I saw how they were dealing with people that had, contracted it. And I was really, inspired, because I recognized that they do have a handle on it. They were able to contain it and, really help to lessen the impact. So I think that, the change starts with us, that we can't control everything that happens around us, but we can, be the best version of ourselves, and serves as a role model and a spokesperson and all of these different aspects to help people on the road to healing. Because ultimately, we all want the same thing. We want this nonsense over with so we can get back to life as normal.
No, I agree. And it's funny. My sister told me about his book where they talk about Donald Trump and they refer to him as a sociopath.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, give us the definition of sociopath for people that are watching, that are scratching their heads going, what the heck? What in tarnation is a sociopath?
Someone who pretty much has no emotions.
Here you go.
Yeah,
it's well. Questionless.
Pretty much. This election, a lot of people are saying it's going to be bad. Either he's going to be reelected and all the gun nuts are going to come out, or he doesn't, and he's like, I'm not leaving the White House. You have to drag me out. And either way, it's really going to be bad. And you look at past presidents, I mean, shit, I didn't agree with, it is PG-13, by the way. I mean, shit, I didn't agree with, President Obama on a lot of things, but looking back, and he seems more freaking professional than this guy. And then you look at Bus, people called him the cowboy, the idiot. He made mistakes, but here's the thing. When Trump was doing his speech, Bush leans over to Clinton and he says, I can't imitate Bush, but he leans over and says, this is some weird shit, man. That's could have been the tip off right there.
Yeah.
But, I want things to get back to normal. I want a normal president, even if we already had a normal president. That's kind of skipping the barrier there. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you about social media. Can it make you or break you in working with people with disabilities when we come back?
All right.
Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ella Dorsch.
My name is Shauna Toft.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Actress Becky Hayes.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey there, I'm Saki Mieta.
Hi guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrews Show.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. It is 729. One thing I do want to promote, it's social media. You can follow the Keith Andrew Network on Facebook. Yes, I had a brain fart. Of course, the other show is disability, so I know. My sister's like, when you speak, I don't listen to you, and I'm like, yeah. When I speak, I try not to listen to myself either. So you can follow the Keith Andrew Network on Facebook at KeithAndrewNetwork.com, Twitter, KeithAndrew88, Instagram, Keith Andrew Network, and breaking news. What I found out recently, I'm kind of annoyed about that, but the good news is for anyone who lives in New York City, in Manhattan, every Saturday, 10:30 a.m. to 10:30, actually, let me rephrase that, 10:30 a.m. to 10:58 a.m. on Channel 2 in Manhattan, you can get, if you get the channel, Manhattan Neighborhood of Broadcasting. That's my time slot. So you can watch the Keith Andrew Network on public broadcasting.
Wow.
And, of course, I have to edit things down to 28 minutes. You get to go to the YouTube and see the uncut, uncensored, all these great things. But being on TV, I really feel that would be a great spot. What I'm annoyed at is the guy who I'm friends with said, looking at your schedule, you've been supposed to be promoting and airing episodes since June. Okay. I never got an email and saying, I look back, okay, it ends in, the last airing is, I guess for the season, December 20th. All my days are on a Saturday. So December 20th, that's when my show ends. But I was like, when does it begin? Because it's like, okay, I did an episode this week, and I went back and went, June. You say my show was airing on a blank screen from 10:30. No one said anything. No one told me. But, social media is good. But, yes, going forward from this Saturday, what is Saturday? I have to look at my calendar. This Saturday, the 19th, going forward until December, you get to see the Keith Andrew Network live and Manhattan Broadcasting. Of course, I can't see it, and I really don't want to rewatch all my episodes, It's a work in progress. It's funny. Trish Stratus said when she was being interviewed, they were playing an old episode. They asked her a question, and Trish, she's one of the famous Canadian stars, just like herself.
Woo!
And she stopped, and they asked her a question, and she stopped. Like, oh, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Watching this video of me and my mats, like, yeah, to be honest, I really don't rewatch my work. And I'm like, well, we have that in common. I have 729 episodes thanks to you. I don't sit there and watch every single episode. If certain episodes stand out, say, this is a great episode, I want to rewatch it, I do that. If an episode's kind of like that, then once is enough. when I approached you to be a guest on the show the second time, I'm like, what about you that I like? Because you're a beautiful Canadian, just doing a little plug. And, I'm a bad flirt. And I'm like, I want to re-interview people the second time that I had great chemistry with. Not someone who has like a pan face and has no freaking expressions. But, it has to be fun, has to be energetic. You have to feel like, okay, this is really great. And then you see another episode where it's completely horrible. I mean, okay, it's not completely horrible. It's kind of like, it could be better. That's why I don't watch my episodes, because I will sit there and I should have asked them about this. I should have asked her about that. And that's why we do part 2. Questions you don't ask the first time, you can ask the second time. But this is not about me. This is about you. So the first thing I want to ask you is, actually, I ask you a brand new question. I have a script, but I want to ask you a brand new question.
Okay.
Who do you consider the biggest influence do you have on your life? Because, for wrestling, you have Trish Stratus, you have Bret the Hitman Hart, you had Michael Landsberg. You have these great Canadians that make an influence on you. And you can say that about me too. What Americans, actors influenced me, like Hulk Hogan, Sting, Ric Flair. But for you, what was it like? What was it like in Canada having these big, larger than life stars that influence you?
You know what? I mean, growing up, my dad always had, we had the satellite TV just for the wrestling. And he was all about it. He brought it in. I was a babe in arms. I had the little pacifier. I'm like, and I'm watching these guys, and I can honestly say, Canadian or not, I was a Hulkamaniac. 100%. Oh, I love Hulk Hogan. I mean, amazing. But that was growing up in the wrestling era. And then I would say, yeah, I shifted out of it. I can say that I'm still surrounded by WrestleManiacs, 100%. Oh my gosh. And then having DDP on the summit was so cool. But I think, yeah, I ended up shifting gears, and I got so busy I didn't have time to watch these things that had helped to shape me. So it became different. I started delving into the world of philosophy and stuff, and not as exciting. I mean, it's not George the Animal Steele eating the turnbuckles, this is people contemplating life and finding meditation, so it's a little different. But yeah, so I really liked Sadhguru, and he's not Canadian either. You know what? I'm trying to think of Canadian role models. Shania Twain, she's cool. There you go.
And
Man, woman, I feel like a woman.
And what about you put me on the spot now. I'm gonna butcher her name. The woman who from Titanic, My Heart Will Go On.
Oh, Rose? Well, I don't know her real name, but Rose.
No, the Christine. Shit, what am I doing her name? Christine. Christine. She did this song. Yes, thank you.
Oh, I love her. You know what? Yes, 100% yes. In fact, she had such an impact on my life that I wanted to be a singer. And then I ended up having an album associated with the movie that I did. But I was so full of stage fright because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this. Because, it's different when you sing in your shower. You're convinced I am Celine Dion. But then you get out of your shower and you're not, you're more self-conscious. Well, I was more self-conscious. And then when I was asked to sing, I froze. I got really scared, and they had to calm me down. And yeah, it's just a crazy thing. She is amazing. Honestly, she made me appreciate the French language too. I would watch her interviews in French, and even though I wasn't as fluent as she was, I was captivated. And then I ended up going to French immersion and learning some French. Although now, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I feel like I know more Korean now than French. But that doesn't mean that I didn't learn it and that she wasn't instrumental in helping shape me into the person I am.
See, that's the one thing I love about you. You're so full of energy and you're spontaneous. I wish I can have that.
Oh, right on. No, you're spontaneous. You went off script. You're like, you know what? I got some stuff written up, but I'm just going to put it aside here and ask you popcorn style the kernels that are coming to my mind popping. So I'm like, that is definitely improv if ever I've seen it. So spontaneity is your middle name. Keep spontaneity, Andrew. That's right.
Now, the other question I want to ask you real fast, social media. Can social media make you or break you with every single thing that you accomplish? Do you consider Facebook, Twitter, Instagram well, it is a platform, yes, but do you consider this a stepping stone for people to recognize you? And give me an example. Does your following dictate if people should take the time to acknowledge you? Because you are a professional actress, and you did mention in our last episode, you had your own show that I still want to be interviewed by you on that, by the way. Do you think just because you have 1,000 people following you, but you get on somebody's radar, or you need to be larger than life and you have to be full of energy, get your face out there, and not, saturate, every little thing that you do, but say, if it wasn't for Facebook, people wouldn't know who the hell I am.
You know what? I think that definitely social media plays a major role in it, because especially now with COVID, like everybody's stuck at home. Well, at least they were in the worst part of it. And they were glued to social media, and that's how they were becoming aware of things. Like I found that I ended up getting picked up, like cyber fame or whatever you call it, where, somebody from Pakistan ended up discovering me. And the next thing I knew, like Pakistan was coming after, like, to get more interviews. And that never would have happened had it not been for that initial Facebook interview. Or maybe it would have, but would it have happened as wildfire like it did there? That remains to be seen. I think that it's a combination of factors. I think that it's an investment. It requires you to invest your time in these different platforms. But I don't think that's the be all end all, because it is an oversaturated field. It is somewhere where everybody is going out there doing their shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Like everybody's a TikTok star. Everybody's on YouTube. Everybody, so you really got to stand out in the sea of sameness. And how are you going to do that? And that's about brand, establishing your brand, having a unique selling proposition. What makes you different than every other person out there? Why should they tune into the Keith Andrew Network as opposed to some other network? And when you have that unique selling proposition, when you know your brand and you can stand by your brand and you have confidence in your brand and you feel like, yeah, you know what? It starts in here. It's all about your internal state, your mental, disposition. Like, do you believe in yourself? Are you your own cheerleader? Or are you somebody that's on the, the sidelines going, dang, like, good luck. Try out next time, So it's all about being your own favorite person, like having that self-love. And I'm not talking about ego. I'm not talking about, ego is not your amigo. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just appreciating what you have to offer and recognizing you have gifts and wisdom and knowledge and experience to share with the world. And when you start realizing your value, the world around you starts realizing your value. And then it doesn't matter what outlet you're on, you will get noticed. It's just a question of it's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
No, I agree with you. Now, wrapping up the talk show, my friend Scotty said to me, what makes you so different from all the different podcasters is the fact you have, and Joe Gertner too, ECW, they said you have a learning disability. Now, think about it. How many people are doing what I'm doing? Okay, that's a stupid question because, I can think of millions of people who have a podcast. But I'm saying, look at all those people, but what is their niche? Either they're a wrestling fan, they're a sports fan. Yeah, that's great, but that isn't relevant. That's not relatable. Yeah, you got a group of people who like to play foosball and all of that, Waterboy reference. But for me, I have a learning disability. No one wants to be a part of this. No one, my own family, doesn't want to acknowledge it, to say, you're doing it, it makes you happy, fine, whatever. But they don't want to watch it because they don't want to, what a BS. But I'm showing you, you have to be your own personal cheerleader. You have to give yourself, you know what, I'm showing you with a disability, look at what I'm capable of. I'm on the spectrum being retarded, but yes, I did over 729 episodes. And God damn it, I am proud of doing what I love, and I will do this to the day I die. I don't care who you are, what you are, you ain't taking this away from me. You have to kill me first. That's how passionate I am. By wrapping up the talk show, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, how can people follow you on social media? And what made you say yes and be a guest on the show?
Well, right from the very get-go, Keith, you totally blew me away with your passion, with your positivity, with your perseverance. You are a man to be recognized, and I truly appreciate you for that. You defy the obstacle, and you are standing out from that sea of sameness. You're not allowing a label or a proposed disability, whatever the heck that means. Like, it's just the label that they're throwing at you, and you're showing that that label does not define you, that you are a force to be reckoned with, and that there is no obstacles except the obstacles that you make for yourself. And you've proven that with mindset and disposition and the willpower, you can achieve anything. Over 700 episodes, incredible. You know what? I said yes because I was impressed by you. I don't say yes to everyone. And quite frankly, I am truly honored to know you and to have the ability right now to share this platform with you. In terms of how people can reach me, they can go to my website at cynthia360.com. That is a one-stop shop. It's got my Twitter, my YouTube, my Facebook. They're all going to merge and become you Twitface. No, I'm just kidding.
No, absolutely. Now I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up our interview segment, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And I'm looking forward to part 3 down the road.